Your bank account is not a number. It is a direct mirror of your subconscious thoughts. And the Bible holds the specific formula to shatter your financial ceiling instantly. Right now, at this very moment, you might be working harder than ever, doing all the right things on the outside, but the money just isn't flowing the way you need it to. You feel stuck. You feel like there's an invisible ceiling you keep hitting. And here's what Napoleon Hill discovered after interviewing over 500 of the wealthiest people in America: that ceiling isn't economic. It isn't your job. It isn't the market. That ceiling is mental. It lives in your subconscious mind. And the same biblical principle that transformed Andrew Carnegie from a poor Scottish immigrant into the richest man in the world is about to transform your relationship with money forever. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn the exact metaphysical process that allows you to think like a millionaire before you ever see the money. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Most people have been programmed since childhood to see money as scarce, difficult, and reserved for others. You've heard it 1,000 times. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. You have to work yourself to death to get ahead. These aren't just sayings. They're mental viruses. Napoleon Hill called them poverty consciousness, and they operate below your awareness, sabotaging every financial decision you make. Here's the mechanism. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue. It doesn't judge. It simply accepts whatever you feed it and then works day and night to make that belief your reality. If you've been conditioned to believe that money is hard, your subconscious will ensure that money remains hard. It will cause you to overlook opportunities. It will make you uncomfortable around wealth. It will engineer circumstances that prove your belief correct. This is what Proverbs 23 verse 7 means when it says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your heart isn't your emotions. In biblical terms, your heart is your subconscious mind, the hidden command center that shapes your outer world. Napoleon Hill studied this phenomenon for over 20 years under the direct mentorship of Andrew Carnegie. What he discovered was revolutionary. Poverty is not a condition imposed by external forces. Poverty is a mental acceptance. It's a habit of thought, and just like any habit, it can be broken and replaced. But here's where most people fail. They try to change their external circumstances without ever addressing the internal thermostat. They chase new jobs, new strategies, new opportunities, while their subconscious remains set to the same frequency of lack. It's like trying to heat a house while the thermostat is locked at 50 degrees. No matter how much fuel you burn, the result stays cold. The biblical definition of faith is not hope. Hope is passive. Hope is wishing. Faith, according to Hebrews 11 verse 1, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Substance, evidence. These are tangible, material words. Faith is the mental act of treating your desire as if it already exists in the invisible realm, knowing that the visible world must conform to match it. This is not religion. This is metaphysical law. And Napoleon Hill proved it worked regardless of your belief system because the law operates on principle, not preference. Let me share one of the most powerful stories from Napoleon Hill's life. When Andrew Carnegie first challenged him to document the success principles of the wealthiest Americans, Hill had no money, no connections, and no guarantee of compensation. Carnegie told him the project would take 20 years and offered him nothing but introductions. Most people would have walked away. But Hill understood something profound. He understood what Carnegie called definiteness of purpose. Definiteness of purpose is not just a goal. It's a burning obsession backed by unwavering faith. Hill wrote down his purpose in a single sentence. "I will become the world's foremost authority on personal achievement and financial success." He read that sentence twice a day, every single day, for 2 decades. He visualized himself interviewing titans of industry. He felt the emotions of success before the success existed. He practiced what he would later call autosuggestion, the process of deliberately feeding your subconscious mind instructions until it accepts them as orders. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Notice the sequence. Conceive first. Believe second. Achieve third. Most people reverse this. They wait to believe until after they achieve, which guarantees they never conceive in the first place. Hill taught that you must train your mind to accept the reality of your desire before your senses confirm it. This is the gap where miracles happen. This is where the invisible becomes visible. Henry Ford, one of the men Hill interviewed, demonstrated this principle perfectly. When Ford decided to create the V8 engine, his engineers told him it was impossible. The technology didn't exist. Ford didn't care. He ordered them to produce it anyway. They worked for over a year and returned repeatedly to say it couldn't be done. Ford's response every time: keep working. Why? Because, in his mind, the V8 engine already existed. His subconscious had accepted the instruction, and eventually, physical reality had no choice but to conform. The engine was built. This is not luck. This is law. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before perfecting the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What separated Edison from every other inventor who gave up? His mental conditioning. His subconscious was programmed for success, so failure was merely data, not defeat. Napoleon Hill spent countless hours with Edison and discovered that his greatest invention wasn't the light bulb. It was his mind. Edison had trained himself to think in terms of inevitable success, and that mental habit made him one of the wealthiest and most influential men of his era. Now we arrive at the core principle, the metaphysical law that governs all manifestation, the Law of Mental Transmutation. Napoleon Hill called it transmuting thought into gold, and it operates on a simple but absolute truth. Thought is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. When you hold a thought with emotional intensity and unwavering repetition, that thought must eventually crystallize into physical form. Here's how it works. Your subconscious mind is connected to what Hill called infinite intelligence, the universal field of all knowledge and all possibility. The Bible calls it the kingdom of heaven. Quantum physics calls it the unified field. The name doesn't matter. What matters is this. When you impress your subconscious with a clear mental image backed by faith, your subconscious communicates that image to infinite intelligence, which then orchestrates circumstances, people, and opportunities to bring your image into material reality. But there's a catch. Your subconscious doesn't respond to casual wishes. It only responds to commands delivered with emotional conviction. This is why Napoleon Hill emphasized autosuggestion as the bridge between your conscious desires and your subconscious programming. Autosuggestion is the deliberate, repetitive act of feeding your mind specific instructions until they bypass your critical faculty and sink into your subconscious as accepted truth. Let me give you the exact process Hill outlined in Think and Grow Rich. First, you write down the exact amount of money you desire. Be specific. Not a lot of money. Not financial freedom. An exact figure. Second, you write down exactly what you intend to give in return for that money. The universe operates on exchange, never on theft. Third, you establish a definite date by which you intend to possess this money. Fourth, You create a clear plan for achieving it, even if the plan seems impossible. Fifth, you write all of this into a concise statement and read it aloud twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleep, visualizing yourself already in possession of the money. This is not positive thinking. Positive thinking without directed faith is useless. This is mental alchemy. You are deliberately rewriting the operating system of your subconscious mind. And as Proverbs 23 verse 7 promises, "As you think in your heart, so you become." Your outer financial reality must conform to your inner mental reality. This is law. It cannot fail unless you abandon the process. Napoleon Hill observed that every single wealthy person he studied practiced some form of this mental discipline, whether they called it prayer, visualization, or affirmation. Andrew Carnegie did it. Henry Ford did it. Thomas Edison did it. They understood that success is not a matter of luck or talent. Success is a matter of mental conditioning. And if you condition your mind for wealth with the same intensity they did, the same law that worked for them must work for you. Let's bring this into your world right now. You wake up tomorrow morning. Before you check your phone, before you scroll through bad news or other people's opinions, you sit in silence for 5 minutes. You close your eyes. You see yourself living the financial reality you desire. You don't hope for it. You don't wish for it. You assume it. You feel the emotions of already having it. Relief, confidence, gratitude, freedom. You let those emotions saturate your nervous system. Then you speak your affirmation aloud, not in your head, out loud. Why? Because sound is vibration, and vibration impresses the subconscious more powerfully than thought alone. You say, "I am now in possession of abundant wealth. Money flows to me easily and continuously from multiple sources. I am a magnet for financial opportunity. My subconscious mind is now aligned with infinite intelligence, and I attract all the resources I need to fulfill my purpose." You repeat this process every single morning and every single night. No exceptions, no negotiations. Napoleon Hill called this the daily mental diet, and he insisted it was more important than your physical diet. Most people poison their minds daily with worry, doubt, fear, and scarcity thinking, then wonder why their bank accounts reflect that poison. You cannot think poverty and manifest wealth. The law doesn't work that way. Earl Nightingale, one of Napoleon Hill's most famous students, built an entire fortune on a single idea he learned from Hill. We become what we think about. Nightingale recorded a spoken message called The Strangest Secret, which became the first spoken word recording to achieve gold record status. His entire message was this: your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, it will grow. If you plant seeds of lack, you harvest lack. If you plant seeds of abundance, you harvest abundance. The soil doesn't care, it just grows. Now here's the part most people miss: the parable of the talents. In Matthew 25 is not a cute story about being responsible. It's a metaphysical warning. The master gives his servants talents, which represent mental and spiritual resources. 2 servants invest and multiply their talents. One servant buries his out of fear. When the master returns, he takes the buried talent and gives it to the one who multiplied the most. Then he says, "For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away." This is the law of use. Whatever you mentally accept and act upon multiplies. Whatever you fear and hoard withers. God, infinite intelligence, divine mind, whatever term you prefer, expects return on investment. You were given a mind capable of conception, belief, and achievement. If you bury that mind in fear and doubt, you violate spiritual law. And the consequence is poverty. Not because God is punishing you, but because you're refusing to use the creative power you were given. Napoleon Hill said it plainly: poverty is a sin when it is accepted as permanent. You are not meant to struggle. You are not meant to barely survive. You are a thinking, creative being made in the image of infinite intelligence, and that intelligence is limitless abundance. When you align your subconscious mind with that truth, lack becomes impossible. So here's your metaphysical resolution. Your current financial reality is not a sentence. It's feedback. It's showing you what your subconscious currently believes. And because belief is not fixed, your reality is not fixed. Starting today, you take full responsibility for your mental diet. You stop consuming fear. You stop agreeing with lack. You stop rehearsing poverty in your mind. Instead, you feed your subconscious the exact financial reality you desire. And you do it with such consistency and emotional intensity that your subconscious has no choice but to accept it as fact. Let me be clear about the conclusion here. Napoleon Hill spent his entire life proving one thing: success is not reserved for the lucky, the connected, or the talented. Success is available to anyone willing to discipline their mind. The same biblical principles that built Carnegie's empire, Ford's empire, and Edison's empire are available to you right now. The law doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your background, your education, or your current circumstances. It only cares about one thing. What are you impressing into your subconscious mind? If you're ready to stop thinking like someone who wants wealth and start thinking like a millionaire, then you need to be part of this community. Subscribe to Napoleon Hill Wealth Code right now, because every single video on this channel is designed to rewire your subconscious for abundance. This isn't entertainment. This is transformation. Join thousands of others who are using these ancient metaphysical truths to create modern financial miracles. And remember what Napoleon Hill said at the end of his life, after studying success for over 50 years. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. You now know what the law is. You now know how it works. The only question left is, will you apply it? Your subconscious is waiting for your command. Give it now.